Hello and welcome back to Suspended Animation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and this is Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Season 7, Episode 9, Old Friends Not Forgotten. Now, that title actually has multiple meanings in this episode, but we are also rushing towards the basically the start of Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3. That's where this ties into. But before I get into that, let me take care of some business first, and we'll get to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video at the very end of this video here. And if you like what you see there, hit the subscribe button. Basically, what YouTube does, takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. Up here is going to be Future Man, is what's going to be up there. I have, excuse me, I had work today, so my brain is all kind of messed up. I had work. I basically still am at work, so not right now, but you know what I mean. I still go into work, all that kind of stuff. If you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you get the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at my weekly schedule up there. I put it up every week. I also mirror that on my Facebook page. And speaking of Facebook, there's a Facebook group page which you guys can post stuff and talk amongst yourselves. I have a Twitter and Instagram, and I have a Patreon page. All those social media links can be found at suspendedfanimation.com. All right. Now, with that said, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video, and you can comment down below in the comment section. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the paddle. All right. So, quite literally, we are in this episode less than an hour before Revenge of the Sith starts, time-wise, I guess you could say, for the movie actually starting. And this episode also completely erases from canon Genndy Tartakovsky's The Clone Wars. Why is that, do you say? Because that actually had led straight into episode 3. And with Grievous wheezing and everything like that, that was supposed to be from Mace Windu crushing his chest. This series has made it so that Grievous always had the wheezing going on, and Mace has nothing to do with Grievous whatsoever in this one. So yeah, they're still keeping some things the same, because we heard mention of Shakti protecting the Chancellor, which was the same thing with Genndy Tartakovsky. And of course, Grievous going after Chancellor Palpatine and all of that. So we start off basically with Anakin and Kenobi fighting on another planet. They're fighting the Separatist droids. And of course, Anakin doing one of his famous, outrageous kind of stunts to win the day. And people have been kind of trying to liken this to what Luke did in that god-awful movie. What was it? Return of the The Last Jedi, the one that Rian Johnson did. I don't know. Episode 8 is what it was called. And the really horrible one where he basically wasted Luke and then sacrificed him at the end. It was nowhere near that. So this was something else completely different. What Luke did in that, that's in the Kelvin universe. That does not exist as far as I'm concerned. Episode 7, 8, and 9. So this is a lot better, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, they get a call to go back to the flagship there, and they're awaiting a call from, and basically Anakin wants to know why the Admiral called them back. And it's because someone's using the code word Fulcrum. You've probably heard that before if you watch Star Wars Rebels. And it's Ahsoka, and she's with bo-katan, and she says they need to meet because Maul, basically they need to meet now is what they need to do. And so they do, and she tells them that Maul is on Mandalore, and they now know where he's at. And Ahsoka is pretty much just brushing off Anakin, all this time here. And he wants to get really friendly with her, find out what the hell's going on, and she's just brushing him off, giving him the cold shoulder. And it's one of those things, you start seeing her trying to distance herself from the Jedi, trying to keep her distance, but you can from her teachings, basically, you keep emotion out of it. That's what she's trying to do. And Anakin, you can see, is all emotion, which we know where that leads, and we see it coming, of course. And Kenobi is trying to play everything by the book, and you can see Ahsoka and Kenobi just button heads at this point too. And she basically calls out the Jedi and says, "People don't trust the Jedi anymore, and this is the reason why: is because you guys aren't helping anybody but the Chancellor." Is what she says. She calls it like she sees it, and Kenobi bristles at that a little bit. And when he's going to talk to the Jedi Council, uh, Anakin takes her to go and meet Rex. And Rex and the crew have a surprise for her. Yeah, game face, exactly, Joker. She had her game face on. And speaking of game face, Rex and the boys have put their game face on their helmets to welcome her back. And basically, they painted her face on their helmets, which is really kind of cool. And so we hear the alarms going off, and basically they're going to go back to Coruscant because they now know. Oh, and at the very beginning of all this, the announcer essentially says that the Separatists are pressing the attack now at this point, and so much so that the Jedi Council have sent all the generals out to all the Outer Rims. So this is setting up what happens with Order 66, of course, with all the Jedi scattered out into the Outer Rims with their they're supposed to be leading support to the clone troops is what's happening, and we actually know where that leads to as well. So it leads to the Purge, of course. And I'm not talking about the Purge movies, I'm talking about the Jedi Purge. Yeah, and we end up having, of course, you know, she's basically going to leave at this point because they're not going to get any help from the Jedi, is what they're saying. They're going to go back to Mandalore and try, and basically they need help from the Jedi, is what they need. They need help from the Republic to hold Mandalore and keep Maul there so they can capture him, because bo-katan does not have the force of necessary in order to create a siege at this point. So Obi-Wan comes back and basically says that Grievous is attacking the capital of Coruscant, and he's going to come after the Chancellor. They need him back there, and Anakin is trying to salvage this shit and says, "Well, how about we split the 501st in half, and I give Ahsoka command of that?" And Anakin, Kenobi's being a dick and says, "Oh, she's no longer part of the Order, so she's lost that rank." And so Anakin again says, "Well, how about I promote Rex to commander, and she's an advisor to Rex," and that's what they do. So basically, the 501st is split in half. Half go to Mandalore, and the other half go to Coruscant. So that's what happens there. And going to Mandalore, you see, I mean, it's so the Chancellor there, Almec, of course, is pissed off that the Republic is there because it's broken a 100-year treaty. So now it's going to be all-out war between Mandalore and the Republic. So that's actually been talked about before as well, about the treaty that was broken. And we also have Saxon, who is now the head of the Mandalorian forces, and he is, of course, trying to put together a group in order to repel the forces of both bo-katan coming in and also the Republic as well. So we're getting a pretty big front here that's happening. And on the ground, Ursa Wren, if that name does not sound familiar, it should. That is Sabine Wren's mother, is actually scouting out to find out where the hell Maul is, and she can't find him. He hasn't left the city, of course, at this point, she says, but they don't know where he is. Basically, all avenues keep getting blocked, is what she says. So we have Ahsoka just doing a kick-ass aerial. Basically, the assault happens. Mandalore is firing at the Republic. The doors open up. We have clone troopers flying out with their jetpacks. Also, Mandalorians flying around with their jetpacks. Mandalorian on Mandalorian action. Mandalorian on clone action. Clones on Mandalorian action. And then we even have a Jedi, or a former Jedi, I guess you could say, on Mandalorian action, where she jumps out without a jetpack, and Ahsoka just starts wailing on these guys and taking them out, and it's actually a beautiful scene. I mean, just probably one of the best scenes out of this entire series, where she is jumping from ship to ship, using Mandalorians sometimes as a vehicle to get from ship to ship, and then cutting their jetpacks and killing Mandalorians. And she lands really fucking spectacularly. She does do a almost like an Iron Man landing, but with lightsabers, which was really cool. And the I forgot about Ahsoka's fighting style, which is she spins and then hops. She does this little hop thing. And I love the animation on that. That was one of the things that I had forgotten about. 'Cause it's been a while since we've seen Ahsoka fight, of course, with lightsabers. And that's what she does is she does spins and then hops, like these little hops. And it's a great scene. It's brief, but it's great. We get some good scenes there. And of course, Maul is nowhere to be found at this point, and Almec basically sends Saxon to the underground because to lead the clones there, because that is the plan from their lord. And you can see they're all painted up like Maul, like they're painted up like Darth Maul at this point. So that is the Maul is what they're called. And Saxon even has the horns on his helmet as well. So, yeah, he ends up going underground while bo-katan goes and takes out Almec, and she goes into the throne room and basically just obliterates everybody there, captures him, asks him where the hell Darth Maul is, and he doesn't answer, and she shoots near him, by his head, asks him again, and then he tells her that they brought the wrong Jedi. That Kenobi was the one that Maul was looking for, but they brought Ahsoka instead. So it's a trap. And of course, she's trying to tell Ahsoka that it's a trap, but Ahsoka's too far underground now at this point. She is with Vaughn, clone trooper Vaughn, and all her clones get wiped out. So she ends up by herself, surrounded in the tunnels. And who comes out with his big metal legs but Maul? And that's how we leave off the episode. Some good shit. I mean, and like I said, they are literally right at the beginning of episode 3, because the beginning of episode 3 starts with Chancellor Palpatine on Grievous's ship along with Count Dooku, and that is when Anakin and Kenobi get on board there. Yeah, so yeah. And as Kenobi said, they're less than an hour out from Coruscant. So they intercept Grievous's ship at that point. Good stuff. And so I am moving this back to Friday. It's going to be after Harley Quinn. It's going to be at 7 p.m. on Friday, because we're in the final couple episodes here. We really are. And it's going to be pretty good. So yeah, we've got this Friday. I'm actually going to take a look at my calendar really quick, if my calendar will cooperate. There we go. So yes, we've got this Friday, next Friday, and then May the 4th, which is a Monday, which will be the final episode. So we've got 3 more episodes to go, and then we're done with this series, and it leads straight into episode 3. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be a couple of double Fridays, 2 double Fridays, and then Monday, of course, the 4th. I'm going to be doing that, since I think my Mondays are going to be open after next week here. Yeah, after the 27th, that is correct. Yeah. Because next week is going to be the end of Dispatches from Elsewhere, just in time for the series finale of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which is on May the 4th. See, it's almost like I planned it this way. I really didn't. Everything just kind of fell into place, but it almost seems like it. Oh, and by the way, Anakin gives back Ahsoka her lightsabers too, and he says that he's fixed them a little bit, but she does not have the white emitters as of yet. She still has the blue emitters, doesn't have the white ones as of yet. So yeah. Oh, yes, Penn, Is It Worth My Time will be coming back to life, during that time as well. Yes. That's usually what happens when I don't have a lot of stuff to do, or I don't have a lot of series to cover is really what it is. I have a lot to do. It's just, yeah, series to cover is what I'm talking about. Yeah. So what else do I have going on this week? Tomorrow I'm off. I get to have a day of rest. Thank Buddha or Cthulhu or whoever's in charge of that. Friday, like I said, is a doubleheader. It starts off with Harley Quinn at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then Star Wars: The Clone Wars, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Saturday is going to be Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any of the genre stuff you guys want to talk about and talk about it with you. Hopefully the stream holds well because things have been glitchy on Saturdays because everyone's on Saturdays. Sunday is going to be Westworld season 3. I'm going to be talking about that, or reviewing that, I should say. Monday, of course, is the season finale and most likely the series finale of Dispatches from Elsewhere. If you haven't seen it, check it out on AMC. It's some good stuff. I think it's also on Hulu as well, for those of you who have Hulu. Tuesday is Future Man season 3, the final season of Future Man. I'm going through that episode by episode, 1 episode a week. So we're doing that. And Wednesday, I'm gonna, next week, I'm actually gonna take that off again. So that's what I'm gonna do and have a 2-day break because I need it sometimes. I'm actually in the process of redoing the studio here, so I did make some progress on. I'm moving it over into the bedroom is what I'm doing, which is the wall right behind me. That's right, because it's a little bit quieter in there. One, and also it's just quieter. Quite honestly, yeah. So that's all I got for you guys. Thank you, everybody who joined me today in the chat. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. And I'm looking forward to Friday. It's going to be a good time. I mean, we're doing the Siege of Mandalore is what we're doing now with Star Wars: The Clone Wars. And the Siege of Mandalore plays big in The Mandalorian, and also in Star Wars lore in general. But right now it is playing pretty big in The Mandalorian, and I'm sure we're going to have some revelations that are going to pop over into the live action version as well. Why? Because Dave Filoni is involved in that. He is co-producer and he also directs some of the episodes. He writes some of the episodes. There you go, along with Jon Favreau. And Jon Favreau, has some stuff that he does in the Clone Wars too. Yeah, he's voiced a couple of people, that kind of thing. And he knows Dave Filoni. They know each other. So yeah, it's some good stuff. See how that stuff kind of crosses over? The dark saber, I'm waiting for the dark saber to come back again. That's going to be awesome. That really is, because I believe Maul has it right now, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. Yeah, I think Darth Maul has the dark saber, so we should be seeing that next episode. Good stuff. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Thank you out there for joining me as well. And I will see you on Friday for Harley Quinn and Star Wars: The Clone Wars. So until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may have to jump out of a perfectly good crashing clone trooper transport without a jetpack. And that's not good unless there happens to be a Mandalorian flying by that you can force grab. Thanks, everybody. I will see you on Friday. Have a good night and stay safe.